Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome to another Supreme Commander Epic. It's going to be 6v6 business this afternoon going down on this generated map, featuring almost a clean sheet of pros, couple of Joes thrown in there for seasoning, but otherwise an all-pro affair. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top right, and this Team 2 down here at the bottom left. Incidentally, I hope I'm coming through a little clearer this time. Apologies for the last cast. I don't know what went wrong. Actually, I do know what went wrong. Windows updates did me wrong, did me dirty. It's Bill Gates and his minions constructing their entire business model specifically to ruin my cast, and I won't have you tell me different. Anyway, let's make our introductions, starting over here with rearguard position for Team 1. It's Cascade in lime green, or actually, sorry, no, lurid green, opening first land, going Cybran, bless him. Team member number 2 in baby pink, another Cybran, going first air, second land. It's Dulatha. Team member number 3 below him in Cyanide Cyan, going Seraphim, it's Gojira, or Godzilla, of course, if you're European. Team member number 4 in Fecal Brown, it's his decision. Swizak, he's going Seraphim, opening first land. Team member number 5 down here to the southwest. Our first Aeon of the day, it's Knightley in Ferrari Red, going first land. And last but not least for Team 1, another Cybran, this time in Mellow Yellow, it's Shaka, everybody Shaka. Sorry about that. Anyway, he's going Cybran, opening first land. So that makes 3 Cybrans, an Aeon, and 2 Seraphims there for Team 1. Let's check out Team 2 now. Starting down here at the bottom left-hand corner, rearguard air position. The one, the only, the man, the mystery, the Willow-Wispy. He is going Cybran in Burgundy Red, opening first land. Team member number 2 for Team 2 in Lurid Green. Actually, the other one was lurid green. I get confused with just about everything. I'll call this lime green. Why not? Who knows? It's 6 solid anyway. Another Cybrid going double first land. Above him, in Elephantine Grey, we have I Make War on You. And he is going Cybrid again, opening first and second land. Team member number 4 in Orange. It's Raw Legit. It's another Cybrid, going first land, second air. Team member number 5 in Breast Cancer Awareness Pink, an Aeon. Yeah, thank goodness. It's Soul Ripper Noob, going first land. And last but not least, in Dijon Yellow, we have Mochilal, another Cybrid. This is what it's going to look like in England after the next election, or Britain generally. Labour win everything. Cybrids everywhere. He's going first land, second air. So there we have it. A whopping 5 Cybrans and an Aeon there for Team 2. People to look out for. As we said, it's pretty much an all-pro affair. The 2 Joes, the 2 weakest links, if there are such a thing, they're still perfectly competent by my reading. A 1300 in Dulatha up there at the top of the screen, and the bottom ranked player for Team 2 is a 1400. That's 6 Solon down here on this side. So they're not facing each other, they're in their mirrored positions on opposite sides of the map. So it'll be interesting to see if this flank is weak for Team 2 and this flank is weak for Team 1. Might not pan out that way. What has ye old map generator generated for us today? That is the mass poop situation. The central plateau, there's a decent amount of it on here, some big piles kicking about in there. We've also got some decent piles of poop on the adjacent plateaus, not so much in the basins in the top left and bottom right. But yes, you can imagine people making a beeline for those plateaus, at least in the early game, to get their hands on that. And look at what we have here. So we've had a quick drop over here for some T1 NGs from Raw Legit, but they are getting massacred by this saucy little lab attack that was produced by this distance build from Knightley. 3 land factories distance built up the edge of the cliff face, spammed out a bunch of labs. They have now shut down this incursion for Team 2, and at the same time we've also had a significant engineer drop just over here from Swizak, who they hurriedly get to work on a T1 PD to help control the area, help take down that land factory, which was never actually completed. And now they're going to set up shop in this rather aggressive position right here on this southwest corner, facing the main bases of Team 2. If they can properly dig in here, that could cause problems. If you set up artillery and the like down here, you could control this whole area and access to the top left-hand corner for players on Team 2. But being as this is a pro level game, I'm going to put money on the fact that this doesn't materialize into any sort of nasty infestation. I'm going to bet that Team 2 are going to find a way to deal with this because their survival might depend on it. What's going on here as well? More droppage, this time an offensive drop. No engineers on board. That looks like 4 Mantis, maybe. Hard to see when it's moving and you're old and decrepit like I am. T2 upgrade on the way for Dulatha up at the top of the screen. Meanwhile, ACU's at the bottom of the screen for Team 2, moving out to the bottom right-hand corner. Will-O-Wisp hanging close to 6 Solon, as arguably the weakest link on the team. Making sure he's got all the support he needs. I'm sure he would be fine regardless. A couple of engineers inbound from Swizak looking to steal mass, I guess. That's probably what's going on here. That's probably the plan. ACU coming down the middle from Knightley runs into 4 Mantis belonging to I Make War on You. He's going to shoo those away. Up on the other side of things, Soul Ripper Noob pushing through the gap for Team 2. Looking to make a nuisance of himself. He's almost in range of Swizak over here. I didn't mention the top-rated players. I spent time talking about the weak links or potential weak links. But yes, of course, top-rated players today. Will-O-Wisp from Team 2 at 2100. And for Team 1, Cascade at 2000. They are both handling air, so that should be interesting. Everybody else ranging between the kind of 1500 to 1700 range, respectively, for both teams. So there we have it. Those are the important introductions over, albeit in a fractured presentation. Apologies for that. Swizak running into Soul Ripper Noob. Has got support from Godzilla a little ways away, but he's now entering the theatre. But looks like Soul Ripper Noob, not interested in drawing out this conflict, is going to back up. And now, if he wasn't already aware of Godzilla's presence, he will be now. Losing a mechs up front, so he's going to move back through the pass here. I wonder if he'll bring the comm forward to try and finish off this T1 PD and make a stand here. Has got 3 units of build capacity. Probably should have brought the comm in to grab this. Maybe he wants to use it to soak up some damage and allow these engineers time to get these defenses up and running. Radar system going up a little bit further back into the east. That's now operational. T1 PD operational. Swizak and Godzilla not making an immediate beeline for the breakthrough here. But look at this comprehensive domination of the central plateau from Team 1. Very nicely handled indeed. Little engineer drop en route for I Make War on You, who is swarming Knightley right now, who's locked himself to the spot on an upgrade. Fortunately for him, that is nearly finished. There we go. That's his second gun upgrade. It should allow him to brush away most of these Mantis, although there's a lot of them. But I don't think it's going to be enough to finish him off here. Knightley down to about 6,400 hit points, but dealing with these Mantis one at a time. He's about to get a rank in veterancy, which will restore a nice chunk of HP. He'll be happy with that when that ticks over. There it goes. And just in the nick of time. They've put some decent damage on him, though, and they've forced him back. Knightley down to just below 5,000 hit points. And there's a ton of land factories which have sprung up here already for I Make War on You. That's a really annoying name to say over and over again. Although I am, of course, completely impartial, I'm hoping he dies very soon. So I don't have to keep saying it. Gun upgrade on the way for Soul Ripper Noob. I imagine that will be his second gun, being as he's Aeon. Got the first one already. There we go. A little bit of repage to heal him back up to full health. So, very top left-hand corner, currently under the control of Dulatha, but look at this pressure being brought by Mochalal. Has his comm right the way to the front, and if he makes a little short trip to the top left-hand corner, he should be able to brush all this aside, maybe install a land factory or two, and that will flip that territory over to his team. Raw Legit pushing through the middle of the top left-hand corner at the same time. Meanwhile, of course, bottom right-hand corner, fully under the command of Team 1 also. So Team 2 definitely need to make at least a play for one of these two corners. Eco-wise, Team 1 are up about 25, 30 mass per tick, something like that range. Not drastic, but it could become a problem if it's not rectified soon. Soul Ripper with that double gun now testing the defenses over here at Godzilla's forward base. Zweisak moving back through the pass here between the two plateaus. I think he could probably have a go at shooing away this commander if he and Godzilla commit. Mind you, both of them are unupgraded. Engineers moving forward, and we've got a bit of a T2 point defense creep going on in the wake of Soul Ripper Noob's forward progression. So he's got an easy position to withdraw back to if things get a little hot. Speaking of things getting hot, we've got some com-on-com action brewing up at the top left, perhaps. Dulatha, sorry, bringing his commander up into this little theatre. He has got a T2 engineering suite, but Mochilau has a gun upgrade and stealth on board that com. It's also got some mole assistance for his own personal intel purposes. Now he's looking to brush aside some of these factories. Dulatha says, no thank you, I'd like to hold on to this position, so he immediately gets to work on some T2 point defense. What's happening down here on the mini-map? Some back and forth there between Knightley and I Make War on You. Looks like Knightley might slowly be edging forward. Mochilau, in the meantime, brushing aside a little Mantis attack. But that has provided Dulatha with the breathing room he needed to get a bunch of point defense online. And that might just be enough to keep Mochilau away from this land factory. What is the view from Dulatha? Well, not great. Stealth coming into play here. You can see he's got a radar, but he needs visual confirmation for those point defense to open up on him. And that's why Dulatha brings his commander forward there. What is going? I'm going to have to come back to this, I think, and just check out what's happening down here as we've got a little bit of 2-on-1 com action. I Make War on You down to 6,000 hit points. Shaker and Knightley in the fray here as two armies tangle. There's a tech advantage on the field though for Knightley as he's got a bunch of blazes in his unit comp here and he's facing off only against Mantis and Medusa. And that is a wholesale win on the ground there for Team 1. I Make War just a little bit light on HP. It's got a lot of land factories here, but look at this. They're getting even song to death. Some mobile missile launchers just on the ridge of that central plateau, making life difficult. There was I saying I'd put money on them not being allowed to keep the edge of this base. Team 2 need to get a wriggle on in that regard. This is some fantastic play from Team 1. This position totally dismantled. Looked like they were about to lose the top left-hand corner, but Dulatha managing to hold on up there just barely. All of the point defense have been destroyed. He's now working on some flak to give him some coverage against potential air incursion. Sending his Mantis south to shoo Raw Legit away now. Raw Legit at full health, so it's unlikely he's going to find himself in any trouble here. But for the moment, Dulatha holding on to that position. What's going on with Will-O-Wisp? We haven't seen much of him so far this game. Pushing out to the east, maybe looking like he wants to dispossess the bottom right-hand corner from Shaker. But this has been a wonderful little victory at the northwest corner of this southeastern basin. It might not be over yet. I Make War has repped up. He's bringing in some more Mantis in behind. Shield upgrade on the way for Knightley. That will be his 4th upgrade. He's got 3 gun upgrades. And now he's just looking for a little bit of extra tankiness to help keep that com in the fight for longer. Yeah, look at the state of this. Zooies right to the edge of the cliff, lobbing their ordnance at vulnerable positions and structures below. They're going to have to find a way to deal with this, that's for sure. Hello. Soul Ripper Noob airlifting his comm right the way over the top of some defenses, but he don't care. He is now looking to take this position out. Says, I've had enough of all of this business. That needs to be dealt with, so he's getting his comm in play. I'm just going to have to go to split screen to keep an eye on these two positions. Looks like Shaker and Knightley are on the move again. Sixolin and I Make War consolidating their position. War is looking like he's going to attempt to run by here. Knightley seems hip to his business and is just shadowing that run by, trying to take some units out on the fly as they pass. War is going to move on up and put some shots on Knightley. How is Soul Ripper Noob getting on? Well, his personal shield is nearly gone. 3 land factories still operational. He's managed to bring in a few blazes as well, which is dealing with some of these pesky units at the cliff edge. Needs to keep microing them though, otherwise they're going to be sitting ducks for all of this inbound Zooey fire, just like that. Oh dear. There go the blazes. Soul Ripper Noob taking a huge amount of fire here. He's all by his lonesome, and getting out of here is going to be very tricky indeed. Skies are being covered right now by his teammates, and you can see him hovering with his transport there to pull his comm out if things get too rough, which they might just be getting. He is down to 4,000 hit points, currently being chased by labs. Hard to deal with huge amounts of lab spam as the comm tends to overkill. Needs to get in some overcharges or something. Keep microing down to 1,000 hit points. Could he be going down? 800 hit points, 700 hit points, 500, 400, 300. Needs a ranking vet. He's very close. 50 hit points, 40 hit points. How is he not dead? How is he not dead? Oh my god, the microing is real. There's bombers buzzing overhead. He gets that ranking vet back up to 4,000 hit points. WTF, mates? Unreal. Absolutely insane. Somehow he is still in this. Nothing's going on in the bot right. I have to give it my full attention. Just wow. He's now a 4-starred comm. 34 hit point a second regen, and his shield has charged back up. He's also airdropped a bunch of engineers in and is starting work on his own land factories. I think he's going to make a proper play for this now. And we've also got, look at that, some bricks airdropped in from Raw Legit. And that is far and away more firepower than anything Team 1 have on the plateau at the current time. T1 bombers brought in. They'll only get one offload of their payloads before getting shot down, I should think, thanks to all of those inties buzzing around. What's happening down here at the bottom right? Some T2 rhinos marching on Will-O-Wisp's position. Willow also getting some rhino backup from Sixolin just over here. And Shaker moving down here to engage Willow also. It's a 1,500 versus a 2,100 though. Having said that, Willow very light on armaments down here. He's playing air, so he's got a bunch of air superiority fighters lurking in the center of his territory over here, just in case they're needed, I guess, with Soul Ripper's central plateau incursion, which looks like it's going to be complete before too long. We are talking total conquest by Team 2. But that does mean Willow is light on his own personal forces down here. We've got bricks inbound. This doesn't look good. This looks decidedly poor for Team 2. Willow now under fire from bricks. He's got no support in the area. Shaker in play with the comm as well. Oh, bros, I don't think he's getting out of this one. HP plummeting sub 1000. Boom! And the first player out is Team 2's Ringer, their star player, their air player, Will-O-Wisp. We've seen dominate so many times before. Finds himself out of the game. That is suboptimal, shall we say, as far as Team 2 are concerned. Not ideal in the slightest. And the problem remains down here, of course. Operational bricks now in behind Six Solin's forward position. Where has Six Solin gone? Oh, he's moved forward. He's engaging Knightley, which is proving less than stellar for his health. He has got the nano repair, so that's 84 hit point a second regen. Uh-oh, T1 bombers coming in. They're gonna offload their audience. Not their audience! I would never do that to you guys. Their ordnance. ASF's now under the control of Raw Legit, who's taken command of Willow's stuff. They move in to cover the skies. What's going on over here? Oh, Mochilal on an upgrade. Starting laser. So we're going to have some serious firepower in play over here before too long. Having said that, Godzilla marching up on this position for Team 1. And he's got a little saucy little group of troops behind his comm here. We've got mobile shield gem, we've got a couple of siege tanks, we've got a bunch, or two, sniper bots. Has he spotted this? I mean, you see that, you know a commander's on an upgrade, or at least has been in the recent past. There's also one siege tank coming up from the south. That upgrade is about 52, 53% done. And Godzilla is almost on him. Mochilal cannot afford to stutter step this upgrade. He's got to put everything in it. Maybe he's having power problems. It's up to about 75% complete now, but Godzilla is on him. If he finishes this, it could turn the tide of this little encounter in a second. He hasn't taken any damage yet. Godzilla has 17,500 hit points. The upgrade's completed. The laser has activated. A look at Godzilla's HP evaporate. Oh my god, Mochilal survives with about 3,000 hit points. He finished it. GG. God damn it, he must be saying. Lol, that's a ridiculous encounter. So now, the game has at least been leveled. It's now a 5v5. Having said that, they've exchanged basically a 2100 for a 1700. Not that exchange is the right word, of course. It's not been the same encounter. Six Solin moving up on Knightley's position. Knightley does have some harbingers in play here. He needs to be a little bit careful. Knightley and 4 or 5 harbs could just target the commander and kill with impunity, which is what they've decided to do now. The commander's dropping like flies now. 22 minutes. That's 3 commanders down in about 3.5 minutes, something like that. Ugh. So just when Team 2 get back in it, they lose another player. Raw Legit now handling 3 bases. Will he offload one of these to one of his teammates, or think, I'm the 1800 here, I should be controlling all of this real estate. I make war on you. Making war on nobody right now. Instead, having just seen what's happened to his teammate, in full retreat. Going to take some shots at these harbingers on the way. Make sure none of them escape into the backfield, which is fair enough, quite frankly. We are at the T3 gunship phase. What were those units? Must have been some kind of drop in here. Those units were attacking something, and you can see that mech's down to just 30 hit points. That one destroyed completely. Answers in the comment section, bros, if you saw what it was attacking that. And while you're down there, smash ye old like button. It's good for my ego, stress relief, hairline, all that jazz. Knightley advancing, not just with his own forces now, but also with a hardy group of bricks, courtesy of Shaker. They're going to try and push through the gap here and ignore this firebase altogether. Probably not going to send the comm in on that. I certainly wouldn't. Pull the comm back to defend. Send the units in. Maybe if you're lucky you'll bag another comm kill for your team. Comm does have stealth. That is the view from Team 1. When you see them disappear into the fog like that, that is disconcerting to say the least. So having said that though, they haven't even got radar coverage of this. Oh yes they have. Look at that. Look at all of the grey dots. They must have Omni up somewhere. Full radar coverage in effect. Saucy little firebase this one. On that southeastern corner for Raw Legit. Plenty of PD in there to cause problems. The upshot of all of these recent plays, of course, means that Team 1 still in control of both of the corners. See the front line, but of course Team 2 have taken the central plateau. Eco-wise, what's the picture look like? Well, Team 1 are ahead by about 500 or 600 mass per tick. That is not too shabby. That's a massive 25, 27% advantage, mass advantage. Something like that. Definitely nothing to be sniffed at. How many gunships are we talking here? What are these gunships? They are whalers. We've got 15 of them. And they are moving up on Knightley's forward firebase. We've got a lot of air superiority fighters, which are going to be providing air cover for them. 113 to be precise. There's the inevitable air reaction brought in from Cascade. Cascade, who looks like he has fewer. Obviously, I didn't catch the initiation of that fight, but at that reading, he had about 50. And that will be the inevitable outcome of that fight. Massive aerial domination for Team 2. Handful of gunships brought in for Cascade as well. They're going to get killed off. And now, this presents an opportunity for these whalers who look like they're making a broad beeline for Knightley's commander. And there's no flak down here. We've got some mobile flak for Knightley back here that's now following in towards the comm. But is it going to be too little too late? The personal shield has already gone, and just look at that health bar disappear. Boom! Wow. It is now a 4v4, and that's rough for Team 1. Knightley was a solid linchpin in here throughout the first part of this game. 27 minutes gone so far. Mochulau, what's he doing over here? He is way out of position. Will this new air dominance play a major role in the things to come? Raw Legit inheriting huge amounts of eco and infrastructure from the death and demise of his teammates. He is still sitting on those bases, hasn't gifted any over to his teammates, so all of this extra eco from the two deceased players pouring into the chap now controlling air, and we're starting to see the results of that. And that might be the final thing to solidify control of the bottom right hand corner for Team 2, which means they'll be sitting on the central plateau and the bottom right hand corner. Doesn't automatically translate into a winning eco, but they have the real estate to grow that eco into that position now, should they want to. All will very much be in their court, so to speak. We got here artillery. Looks like mobile T3 artillery. There it is. Big old bank of Serenities. Just softening up targets on that central plateau. And now we're finally starting to see the emergence of some experimentals, and Ithota here from Swizak. Killing off a few ASFs that had landed ill-advisedly right next to it. Cascade has pumped out a few more fighters. He's also getting some aerial assistance from Shaker, who's got his own fighters in play. I'm not convinced they're still not behind in collective numbers, though. Looks like a bad engage for Cascade. And while those fighters are tangled up, the Whalers are going to go in towards the backfield and look for targets of opportunity. P-gens, air factories, mass fabricator farms. What's going on down here? Soul Ripper noob taking a lot of fire, and Ithota and a bunch of bricks have moved right up towards the comm. Wow. Nearly missed this with what's going on up at the top right hand corner. Keep an eye on that on the mini-map. In comes an Asylum to block some of the inbound fire, but it won't nearly be enough. Must have thought he was pretty safe having a megalith right next to him, but down he goes. Dulatha, the Joe from Team 1, managing to effect that kill. And although all the gunships meanwhile have been wiped out for Raw Legit, he has brutalized a bunch of P-gens and air factories, and he's held on to a decent amount of his fighter power. 64 ASF still in play for him, and he's churning out more gunships all of the time. Jalal with his chest laser just helping to defend this approach. Needs to be careful, there's a Monkey Lord inbound. He might have a lot of HP at 20,000, but the Monkey Lord has got 45 and the same weapon. Best to let the gunships deal with it, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. In comes a fresh batch of Whalers locking straight onto that Monkey Lord. And there is no air support available. Not looking too bad right now for Team 2, although they're losing players very quickly. It's now a 4v3. Raw Legit now in control of the plateau also. It's just Mochalal in this little pocket up here at the top left, and then a central linchpin here for I Make War on You, who's also pushed out all the way over this side. There's a ton of available mexes that they need to get build capacity out to really capitalize on it. But eco-wise, it is neck and neck, 1.9k per tick per team. In terms of total mass accrued, Team 1 up almost 250,000 mass. But right now, this air advantage is paying dividends for Team 2. There's even a Soul Ripper in play. What is being built down here? Oh, all the Soul Rippers in the world are being built down here. Raw Legit going full gunship city. How is Cascade faring after that last attack? Well, he's full bar on mass, which is why he's looking like he's about to start work on a game ender. A Scathis production ensues right at the top of the screen. There's some tears going on about the gunships. Imagine building AA, says Soul Ripper. Every game won by T3 gunships. Well, T3 gunships become an awful lot more effective when you've lost the air, and Team 1 have decidedly lost the air at this point. Helped in no small part, of course, thanks to this sheer amount of resources that's gone to Team 2's air player. And that has allowed him to get yet another kill. Dulatha, the next to bow out. It's now a 3v3. Cascade, I imagine, will inherit his stuff. There we go. We're starting to see more and more flak. Sam's mobile T3 anti-air emerge. Before too long, gunship plays might be out up here at the top right-hand corner. How is progress moving on Scathis? Answer very, very slowly. 150 hit points done out of 9,000, but more build capacity is being shipped to it. Cascade has used about 20% of his stored mass so far on that and other projects. And Ithota tried to break through down the channel. In fact, two did. The one further behind is getting tickled to death by a swarm of T1 bombers. They won't last too long as lightning tanks are brought in to cover the Ithota. But the lead Ithota got taken down, probably at the hands of these bricks, finished off. What's going on down here? A Soul Ripper out from Cascade, making its way around the edge of the screen, trying to get in behind the main base. As you can see, the air reaction from Legit wastes no time dispatching fighters to intercept. I don't think that Soul Ripper is going to get anywhere near anything important in the main base before getting shot down. The main group of fighters are now on top of him. Bosh. Down he goes, plummeting to the ground. Angle of attack now secured. Teleporter upgrade on Shaker, who's already got the laser. That's how bad things are feeling right now in Team 1's camp. Despite the early game having the central plateau and the two corners, things have not gone that well. They do have access to T3 static artillery, though. The first shells raining down, and Legit's base is largely uncovered by shielding. All of these factories and power generators pretty unprotected. Just needs to land a couple of shells in here. You can see support commanders hastily trying to get shielding online. They are blinking up all over the place. Missed opportunity, really. Or maybe he is going for it. But the firing randomness is doing him wrong. It is Cybrid artillery, after all. Oh! There we go. It's a telemaser from Mochilal that scores the next kill. Didn't even see him go for the teleporter upgrade, but he's managed to pick off Swizak over there on the right-hand side. Normally when I miss things these days, I do a little coverage at the end, but not really an awful lot to cover there. He upgraded his teleporter and he did a Cybran thing. You get the picture. I don't have to fire up my editing software as yet. And now this base looking, to all intents and purposes, largely shielded. So, Raw Legit over here with his comm. No T1 point defense around him, which is surprising considering Mochilal just killed off one of their opponents with a tele-snipe. How about I make war on you? No, no T1 PD around him either. Shaker has the teleporter ready to go at any time. he could take him down. He won't go for Mochilal because that'll be a 50-50 shot at who wins. Telemesa versus Telemesa. Oh, he's going for Legit, and Legit has not noticed. There is the exit point for the teleporter, and he's not even under shield coverage. This will be over very quickly indeed. Legit had base 11,000 hit points, and there he goes. Will Shaker manage to get out is the question. Trying to peer through the nuclear fire to see the result. So the 1800, who was in control of everything, is down and out. Oh, but there's too many gunships around, so Shaker will go down for his trouble at least. So it's going to be a 2v1. I Make War on You and Mochilal versus Cascade. 2000 versus a 1600 and a 1500. Let's hear your predictions from this point, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments section below. Who is going to go next? And where? Is that Mochilal teleporting? Yes, it is. So Mochilal is going to have a pop. It's only Cascade left. There is the exit point. The attack ping has gone down. He will be aware of it. He just needs to move his commander away and get some gunships in play if he's got any. Com is moving away. He's still very close, uncomfortably so. Shield bides him a little bit of extra time. In comes the siege tank in behind Mochilal. And we're going to go mass T1 bomber spam to try and counter this. Mochilal should have placed his exit point a little closer to the commander. As it stands, I think he has messed this one up. Already down to 5,000 hit points, and that bomb is only increasing. Boom! It's now a 1v1. And it's a 2,000 rated player versus a 1,600 rated player. Eco-wise, Team 2 do have a significant lead. It's 1.6k to 2.3k. There is artillery raining down onto this position down here, but it's well shielded. We have a Scathis, which is at about 65% complete. How is that Scathis doing up at the top right-hand corner? That is very close to being done. Call that, I don't know, what would you say, 85%? Fighters tangle once again. That looks like a better engage this time for Cascade. Look at the sheer number of Soul Rippers that Legit managed to produce before his demise. Oh no, he's going to lose the air battle, which means all of these are going to die. No, it can't be. Oh, that's going to hurt. 9 Soul Rippers. That's going to hurt so bad. Oh God. He must have thought this is how I'm going to end it. But Cascade managed to massively outproduce their opponents. And now he is in the aerial ascendancy. Look at that. Every single Soul Ripper dead. It's like the Hawaiian Islands topography moving with the plates over time. Just pitter-patter of dead Soul Rippers indicating where a fight was over time. Your teammate was telling all over the place, why didn't you protect yourself, says Shaker. Yeah, kinda, pretty much. Cybrans, they can dish it out, but they can't take it. What a funny game this has been. Absolutely absurd. The Scathis is now operational for Cascade. Ordnance in the air for the first barrage. He'll want to take this out ideally. It's got some decent amount of shielding around it. He has got that extra Disruptor 2 for some more focused fire. We've seen many times how good the Scathist is at softening up wide areas of poorly protected infrastructure, but doesn't necessarily fare well against well protected areas with Massive amounts of overlapping shielding. T1 bombers circling now that they've got an air advantage over all of these relatively unprotected forces down here. A lot of build capacity, just trying to spam up T1 air defenses to deal with it. Now he's got some anti-tele defense. It's 2 Cybrins left. What's he got on there? He's not going to tele-maser anytime soon. We're going to get a tele-maser from Cascade. No, we're going to win this the old-fashioned way. Old-fashioned ways of pretending they haven't always done that. Oh, but look at that! Oh, he's building multiple Scathis. One operational down here, another one on the way. That one just about to complete. It's now a 2v1 Scathis situation. That could be gruesome for Cascade and Team 1's chances of walking away with a win here. Oh, I'm going to have to go to split screen. I'm going to have to close that momentarily just to get some of the nonsense off the screen. Minimap focusing in on some of the air battles that are going down. Cascade clearly still has a massive aerial advantage. Still 2 operational Scathis. But we've got strap bombers coming in. A lot of strap bombers. They're going to take out one of those Scathis belonging to I Make War. And will he have enough bombers left to deal with the other one? It certainly looks like it. I'm going to go back to single screen. There is a massive hole in Cascade's base now, but crucially the Scathis is still alive. Strap bombers lining up for their next bombing run on the second Scathis. And there's a lot of them in play. They're going to get this. Oh man, that's painful. 9 Soul Rippers, 2 Scathis, and possibly the game. All in the space of about 5 minutes. I Make War on You, cowering under the shields that's left to the east. Strap bombers making sure by killing off the last Scathis, and he knows he's done. That's a Control K to finish off the game. There was a massive land incursion underway as well, coming down from the top left-hand corner. Wow. Just wow. Wasn't actually the longest of Epic games, but I think you'll understand why I labeled it so. A lot of toys. We got 3 game enders operational before the end of the match. 9 Soul Rippers shot down here. Oh, and then we had the telemaser that was completed up here for Mochilao. Godzilla almost got him killed off. But no, mistimed. It was just a little bit late to the party. Hilarious. Very entertaining. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. As always, more to come from me in the future. But until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.